Hi, we've entered a level!
Woo! Look at that propeller go!
Like for those of you who are just joining us now, go watch further episodes that came before this.
Every time I see a character or someone wearing a bow tie, it reminds me of those little propellers. Like, I hate Tucker Carlson, but every time I see him, I think of this.
Can't you think of Bill Nye?
Oh, phew.
He says, not currently playing this.
Well, Bill Nye would have something to say about waterfalls coming from nowhere. That is very anti-science.
Yes, I'm sure he'd be very concerned about that.
Yeah, he just Neil deGrasse Tyson's this whole game.
He touches it inappropriately? And I made John sad.
You're making a habit of that.
Yeah, why do you keep going over?
Oh, I have to navigate the waffles before I join you. Oh, and you don't get to become
one with the waffles.
Raccoon Mario when you touch a leaf.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm glad. That's something like... It isn't about the challenge of the thing anymore, it's about fairness, and it's about, like, the universe making any sense. I'm glad that's not the way it works anymore.
Yeah, only gatekeepers seem to care about making sure things stay hard. Get your mind out of the gutter.
But there's this nice gutter, and it's the shape of my mind.
It's the shape of a pen 15. Previous episode reference.
See, you should go watch previous... It's episode 3. Are you out of your mind to go watch the other episodes?
Mario 3, episode 3, Super Mario Advance 4.
Is this your first episode of us? Bad form. Go watch the first 2.
Well, just in my recommendations, I'm just kidding. This isn't showing up in anyone's
recommendations. It's okay. We know the previous episode is your first episode of us because it was called Female Presenting Nipple.
I guess that makes it official now.
We'll see what happens when you actually finish the episode. Did you care? The previous episode was called Female Presenting Nipples.
Okay. So when Mario went to 3D, these are still called donut blocks, right?
Are there donut blocks in 3D Mario?
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't notice it as easily because they make them more oblong, so it's more of it's less of a gamble for you to jump on it. But it still has that hole in the middle. I don't know how they aesthetically decided on... You know it's going to drop right away because it has a hole in the middle. That makes it structurally unsound, I guess.
Well, maybe they wanted to make it look like a donut and then call it donut blocks.
Because, you know, in real life, donuts can't support a human's weight.
It can increase a human's weight.
Cute little... years there.
Springtime for Hitler.
Oh. Why are you making me sad?
You didn't like the producers?
I've never seen it, actually.
Come to think of it, I've never seen the whole thing, just bits and pieces, and I know the songs really well. Because Dr. Demento plays them.
There are a lot of movies that I feel like I'm fully aware of, even though I've never watched them, just because they're referenced so often. Like, Ken really helped me fill in the gap of Casablanca since the whole crew went out.
Right.
And that was a really good movie.
Yeah.
But there are old classics like Citizen Kane and whatnot that I just have never seen.
Yeah,
I watched the Tiny Toons episode that's entirely based around it.
I said acne!
which no child would understand. It's a friggin' half-hour episode.
I mean, they're more likely to have seen that than the Sunset Boulevard parody. Which was like 90% you have to live in California jokes. Like, the episode was called Sepulveda Boulevard.
That's the power of Spielberg, really. Just, no one's gonna get this. Do what you want anyway.
Easy Killer, that's my boss now.
Okay. Oh, do you want to tell the public about it? I think we hinted that you were...
Okay, yeah, well, as of the recording of this episode, like, by the time you hear this, I will already be in-house there. But I was working... I was working at... Okay.
Okay,
I was
sorry
working
for the
at,
delays here, but that was really weirdness happening. Weirdness happening. Yeah, go ahead.
I was working on Animaniacs as a freelancer, and now I have joined them as an in-house storyboard artist. Yeah. And that's a great gig.
Yeah.
So far.
I bet.
And you know what I can tell you about the show is absolutely nothing.
You remember the Tiny Toons episode that's just called Animaniacs?
Yeah, it was, And the thing is, that episode itself, besides being educational, was a parody of, like, going to see the CalArts, open show.
Specifically, it wasn't just a general...
Yeah, if you actually, enjoy/suffer through a CalArts open show, you will recognize just how much that is like it, complete with Daffy and Bugs' reactions. Because it is long. It's like every student showing off their film, the quality levels and finish film levels.
Weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
Shell physics is like the wall of blocks was on screen, but it's still...
It was, but if you were playing this on the NES, it also wouldn't have broken because they had that, like, side-of-screen glitch thing going on. So it wouldn't have been there. So they're just, like, keeping it consistent to that, even though they don't have the glitch there anymore.
Oh, was that necessitated by the fact that the screen had to be kind of split so that you could have the score and everything on the bottom?
Don't know.
Because that was way more excessive in Mario 3 than it usually was in NES games. Like this whole side of the screen. Usually there is some spillover because old CRT televisions cut off part of the picture.
I think, like, there's something about the game that was so advanced that it's like, okay, we can do all this highfalutin stuff, but there's going to be glitching on the side. It's like, alright, we'll take it.
I can't hear the phrase without thinking of Kevin McDonald going, "It's advanced!"
I reference that a lot.
But I interrupted. You were talking about CalArts film festivals.
Oh, yeah, because you're looking at absolutely everybody's films, they're in different levels of completion, they're in different levels of good, and then there's just, like, a few, like, I finished my film, I have time to make a stupid gag, like, films thrown in there. And so, yeah, that is pretty much exactly what the Tiny Toons episode Animaniacs is like. Because, like, they're watching... The moment of truth is when they're watching Shirley the Loon's experimental film. That part is so much like going to the open show. Because, like, there's the open show and the producer show. The producer show are the ones that, like, the people watch, like, the people who run the school have watched it and was like, okay, these are the good ones, these are the ones that we, that we've deemed, like, the best ones if you guys want to just come and see the good stuff. But you can go and see just everything.
I know it was a point of contention to the Looney Tunes in that episode because I think Daffy said we only have 6-minute attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a joke that I got back then.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes were everywhere. It was hardcore in the zeitgeist.
Yes.
Like pre-World War II ones were parishioned off and like...
Yeah, when I was a kid, like, if ever I would see, like, even most 40s cartoons, it was unusual, unless I was, if I was at Grandma's house, I saw those, because Channel 9 played them.
Yeah. So there were syndication packages, Nickelodeon, I think, had
Right, and
different
I didn't have cable yet.
Yeah.
And so, like, the only way I was seeing them, unless I rented a video or something, or got a 99-cent video full of public domain ones, excuse me, is Saturday morning they have the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show.
Was that ABC or CBS? Because I think
ABC.
At some point, weren't they kind of competing against themselves? Because there's, like, the Roadrunner show was on CBS and Bugs Bunny Tweety was on ABC or something like that.
That may have happened, yes. That sounds vaguely familiar. But yeah, like most of the Saturday mornings, certainly all the ones in the 90s were ABC.
And you thought that there was a ton of Simpsons in syndication. Looney Tunes were friggin' everywhere.
And
but there was enough variety in it that it didn't become exhausting.
And it seems like up until very recently they had like gone away completely.
Well, that's the weird thing. Once Warner Brothers got complete ownership of them all over again, because like they bought Cartoon Network from Turner, right? Or they merged with Turner?
Yeah.
And Turner had all the...
But I'm basically talking about like the last... maybe not even a decade. It seems like they had... You know, there were places you could see them, but they had, you know, fallen very, very far out of the public zeitgeist other than, you know, whatever new version was on.
They don't really have Saturday mornings like they used to.
Right.
But, I mean, I can't complain about that either because cartoons are readily available anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Did we finally get a mushroom here?
Yes.
Yeah. I was so ecstatic to finally line this up because it never happens. So you said the treasure chests were predetermined. I kind of feel like that roulette is predetermined also because I swear I hit it on time and it just keeps going anyway and
I don't know, man.
I end up this weird hybrid creature with 2 mouths.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I thought you were having a stroke.
Well, that's not your toast then?
No, I'm making toast.
Okay.
At some point, John, I got up in the middle of talking here and made toast.
Well, I mean, it's completely auditory. You could have done that.
Except for at no point did you hear me yelling like this from the back of the room.
You got any Mountain Dew?
I got toast.
Okay. Lakitu looks like his arms up in front of his face kind of look like a mustache there. Is it just me?
It looks to me it looks less like a mustache because it's the same color as his skin, more like a muzzle, like an animal's muzzle.
Oh yeah.
Or like the old comic book character, or the old comic strip character Henry, the one who was like a butt for a chin. You know the guy?
Peter Griffin.
No. This is far worse.
I feel like we have to bring up that tragic ending to your turn there, though.
I died.
And that was my turn to tragically end. But I mean, you're Raccoon Mario and just absolutely refusing to plummet. No, it's still good. It's still good. I don't know why Mario isn't wearing his gloves in this sprite.
That's a fair question. Is he wearing them at any other point in Mario All-Stars? Is he wearing it... Like, I vaguely remember him wearing them in the Super Mario Brothers 1 part.
They recolored that sprite completely, like...
This is Henry.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. So that was the alternative Popeye and Son that we could have gotten.
Kind of. Here he is with Betty Boop.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, because, like, what happened is that Popeye's popularity caught them by surprise, so they tried to adapt a couple other comics the comic strips, and then also like got Betty Boop involved, just as they did for the first Popeye cartoon. And none of them worked, and all of them ran just one cartoon.
Well, that was a thing that happened during even the silent era. Like, instead of creating original cartoon characters, most of them were adaptations of comic strips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Felix was the first big star, though, wasn't he? Original animation?
Yeah.
Oh. I wanted that mushroom! I wanted it!
Your mushroom or your life. I'm thinking it over. How many Let's Plays fake Jack Benny references? Just ours.
That's why we're on top of the world, baby.
That's why we don't have 100 subscribers yet. Folks,
smash certain buttons. Perhaps subscribe, perhaps a bell. Add us to your MySpace. Put us
your
in...
furniture.
I mean, link us to your web ring.
Process.
Do you remember the Wild West of the internet, with the only way that you could find other interesting stuff was web rings?
Yeah, I remember.
Because search engines weren't Google yet.
Right. No, I remember thinking web rings were stupid because search engines existed. But I used them anyway.
I mean, they weren't great, though. And there were several that all worked just as well, which was not very. Trying to remember all of them. Wasn't there one that was just called Web?
Web.
Web.
Big L. Vanderquack.
Oh. No, it had a spider as a mascot, of course. But that reminds me, so when Webby was in a DuckTales episode, did Russi Taylor get paid extra?
I think we've had this discussion, and I don't know.
Was it during this game?
No.
Whoops. I guess that's all, folks.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's all the footage. Mario 3! Russi Taylor deserves all the money. Bye.
Bye.